What did the drafters of the Constitution have in mind when they established Chapter 9 institutions such as the South African Human Rights Commission to protect and support South Africa's constitutional democracy? Inaugural former chairperson of the Commission, Dr. Barney Pichana, elaborates.
The preamble to the Human Rights Commission Act says that the Commission shall be competent and obliged, those are quotation marks from the preamble, to investigate any alleged violation of fundamental rights and to assist any person adversely affected thereby to secure redress.
As South Africa tried to find its feet as a constitutional democracy, redress became an important part of that journey. The Commission would play an integral role as marginalized groups of society turned to this body as its last hope for justice in the growing democracy. Fast forward 30 years into democracy, the Commission faces a hurdle which runs the risk of stifling its purpose in immediately enforcing recommendations to tackle violations of human rights. This as the Supreme Court of Appeal confirmed in an August judgment that its recommendations are not binding and that they are only enforceable by a court of law. This follows a dispute between the Commission and an agricultural company over the former's recommendations in a matter dealing with the right to access to water. Senior attorney at the Center for Applied Legal Studies, Tutugile Mkhize, says that this is a case of interpretation.
Section 184 of the Constitution, one of the functions of the Human Rights Commission, it says that they have a mandate to also take steps to appropriate steps to secure appropriate redress where human rights have been violated. So that is broad enough, we are arguing as CALS, it's broad enough to include the issuing of binding recommendations.
This latest judgment leaves the burden on the Commission to vindicate its recommendations in a court. An impractical task, according to Commissioner Dr. Tsepo Madlingozi.
So the drafters of the Constitution were very clear that they were creating bodies that have teeth, that have, powers. We receive more than 6,000 complaints a year. Now, what this court decision is saying is that on each and every of those complaints, if we find that there's been a violation, in order for it to be, respected, we must go to court.
Meanwhile, South Africans today are not yet lost upon hearing the name, the South African Human Rights Commission. Do you know what the South African Human Rights Commission is and what they do for South Africa?
I think I do have the knowledge. They basically look after and make sure that everybody adheres and follows the human rights that are in the Constitution. I'm not sure if they're in the Constitution, yeah.
They look after our human rights.
They're here to ensure that everybody gets their human rights and no one violates them.
While the Commission says it respects the judgment, it fundamentally disagrees and will appeal, with papers expected to be filed in the coming weeks. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Johannesburg.